The Mirador de la Cruz, or if you prefer, the Lookout of the Cross, sits upon a hilltop overlooking the city of Puerto Vallarta and the Bay of Banderas. The Bay of Banderas is the largest bay on the Pacific side of Mexico. And a good portion of the bay, especially near the city of Puerto Vallarta, is surrounded by the Sierra Madre Mountains. Mirador, or in English, the Lookout, offers unparalleled views of the city of Puerto Vallarta, the Bay of Banderas, and the Sierra Madre Mountains. The good news for locals and tourists alike is the Mirador is actually quite close to the malecón, which runs right along the ocean. It's only a short distance or hike to get to the top, a total distance of approximately 0.5 miles or 0.8 kilometers. Should take you approximately 20 minutes at most is all you need to reach the top. On this hike, we'll start at the malecón at Abasolo Street, next to the surfer statue, which is the most direct way to get to the top of the Mirador. On the way back, I'll show you a different route. It'll take you through some back alleys with some twists and turns that most of you, I think, will find very interesting. Of course, you can choose to go back to the malecón the same way you went up. But what would be the fun in doing the same thing you just did? So I like to explore, and I hope you do as well, so come along. So here we are at the start of our hike. We're on Abasolo Street, and we have to make it right up to the top of this hill where you see this TV tower, and there you can see the Mirador de la Cruz. It's the lookout tower you see at the top of the picture. So again, this is Abasolo Street, and we're going to proceed directly up it, right to the very end where we'll encounter a walkway. And once we get past that, we'll return back to Abasolo Street, which will take us to the base of the staircase that will bring us up to the top of the hill, where the structure known as the Mirador is located. So about half the hike is on streets and sidewalks, I should say, and then the other half is on some steps. There's a lot of high areas here, and there's no way that they could build roads up those types of slopes. So they built a lot of steps or walkways, and they still refer to those as the street name. There's a lot of construction going on in Puerto Vallarta. I'm sure you can hear that in the background. But still, walking through the city is a lot of fun. A little bit of traffic here we have to dodge around. Some beautiful murals in the city. Lots of street art wherever you go in Puerto Vallarta. And they're fun to walk around and find. This one's been here for a few years. Starting to show a little wear. So hopefully they'll be repainting it or touching it up. So we're approaching the street called Guadalupe Sanchez, and on this street you're going to find lots of artist shops, and they have an art walk. I believe it's every Wednesday, and take a look, take a walk down, and you'll see some very interesting pieces. So again, this is the Mirador that we're headed towards.
Dale. Ahí está ya.
So some of these roads or streets are not very well traveled. They do have a sidewalk, and they're always good to use. But on this section, since I know there's really no traffic, I like to walk on the cobblestones. Lots of flowers along the walk as well. These are bougainvilleas. And this is where we've come from.
So Abasolo ends essentially here, and we hit a walkway full of gardens. This is actually one of the nicest spots or portions of the walk. So if you don't like steps, you can always take an Uber or taxi to the base of the Mirador, but you still got to do some walking. There's no driven way to get there. Good news here, if you want to take a break, you can sit down on just one of the walls. Again, another beautiful garden. And lots of shade here, so it's actually rather cool, even though I'm doing this hike at around 12 o'clock and the sun is high in the sky. Or walkways to people's homes. But this is the one I always use. Hola.
Hola.
So, once you're to the top of the walkway, all you need to do is hang a quick left and then right. And this road will take you right up to the Mirador, or at least the stairs to the Mirador. And this little jog is on Emilio Carranza. But the little jog actually puts us right back onto Abasolo Street. And now we have another, I guess, roadway, Abasolo Street, to get up to. And it's nice that they put this walking path along the side. You can take stairs, but I find ramps or paths like this are a lot easier. And you can see that the Mirador is a lot closer.
¿Tiene mucho vivir aquí, señora? ¿Sí? ¿Y qué tal vivir aquí? ¿Usted aquí originario de Vallarta? ¿Todos su vida viven aquí en Vallarta?
I see someone has parked an ambulance at the side of the road. I swear to you, that's not here to pick up hikers who didn't make it to the top. Just here by coincidence. Now, this roadway ends at the top, just below the stairs that take you up to the top of the hill. But there are a few homes and condominiums here, and there's some others being built currently. That's why there's not a lot of traffic here. Road's in great shape, as well as the walkway. They put a lot of these grooves or textures on the pathway and in the roadway, so it's very easy to walk without fear of slipping.
So while you're doing the hike to the Mirador, you should actually check the sides here. There's always something interesting, like there's a burro here, or maybe a jackass, can't tell, another horse behind. Some chickens that a lot of citizens keep in their backyard. So take your time and enjoy the sights. Some condos for rent right up here too. A little bit of a climb from the street level, but not too bad. Now, there is a funicular up here that was used to take people to the top once the street ends, but I haven't seen it run since I've been coming here, and that's been like 8 years. One day I hope they put it back together. Hola, amigos.
As I said earlier, there's a lot of construction going on at the end of Abasolo Street. It normally would end at this staircase here, but it looks like they're extending the road and around the corner, and I would suspect they're going to open up some more lots on the hill, and therefore this roadway needs to be put in. So the new owners of the building can reach their properties by car, because with a hill like this, it's probably something that you wouldn't want to walk on a daily basis.
So that's what all this road work is. So they've been working on this road since last winter. I'm not sure what the delay is, but I'm glad to see that it's moving forward. Looks like they're putting in some of the drainage or sewer lines that are required for new housing construction or condo construction. They've had to chip away a lot of that rock face there. So that's probably some of the delay. Lots of work. So the construction of the roadway, or extension of Abasolo, continues from last winter. Lots of work. That's going to be quite the turn and quite the elevation or slope to get up to the top if they do intend on making it a roadway to some new condominiums. But this here is the stairway, almost to the initial stairways to the start of the climb up to the Mirador. And here we are, the base. So you can tell that the funicular hasn't been used in some time, but you can see the car is actually still based or located at the top of the stairway. And according to the sign, we need to go up on the right-hand side, and the sign is missing from there, but you go down on the left-hand side. And the reason you do that is that they have all these winders rather than stairs straight up and down. So it makes it a little bit easier, because on the winders it's good to stay on the wider section. So here we go. We'll start the climb.
The climb up to the Mirador or lookout is a very popular tourist attraction. A lot of people do it, especially if they're coming off the cruise ships and touring the malecón. It's only a short jaunt to make it up to the top. As I said, it should only take you at most 20 minutes to get to the top, and possibly 15 or 20 minutes to go back. So whatever you spend at the top is sort of the length of your visit or this excursion. So 20 minutes is often good enough. So an hour out of your day is all that's required.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Doing great. Yourself?
Yeah, good.
This is a very popular thing to do. A lot of people coming off the cruise ships will do this as an excursion. It's free, so why not?
As you can see from this video, there are a lot of steps from the street level at the malecón to get to the top of the Mirador. The good news is they are really well made. No real issues for slipping or falling, and there's lots of places that you can just sit down and relax. You don't need to do the whole stairwell in one shot, unless of course you're in good shape and you want to get your steps in and get some exercise. And if that's the case, running up and down these stairs will definitely do that for you. I myself generally take a few breaks as I work my way up. And as I said, why rush it? The views are great, and not only through the tree line here, but the bay, the city, the murals that you see as you walk along. So take your time and enjoy the experience. And then when you get to the top, you have plenty of time to just sit back and relax as well.
Fortunately, they need to do some maintenance here. They normally clean up a lot of the brush, so you can really see from one end to the other of the funicular. As you can see, we're getting close. There's the base of the cart. Already see how high we are. And here's our final sets of stairs. And we have made it. There's a platform or lookout. The old carriage. I believe this is a TV tower. Up here used to be a restaurant. They had it open last year, coffee and some food, but it looks like it's been closed. And there's the cross.
So the Mirador de la Cruz sits on a hilltop in the Sierra Madre Mountains, and we're surrounded by the Quale River on one side and the mountains on the back side and the ocean on the front side. The valley you see here is actually where the Quale River runs through. The Quale River is a river that you'll see that goes through the heart of Puerto Vallarta. So these on the left are TV or radio or maybe internet towers. And below them is where the restaurant or coffee shop used to sit. It looks like it's being taken apart systematically, but this was a great spot, great little, I guess, snacks and drinks when you get to the top, a good refreshment while you sit on some of the benches up here and take in the views. So I'm a little bit disappointed that's been taken away, but hopefully somebody will take it on again and restart it. I think that if the funicular was still in service, then that restaurant or snack shop would be very, very popular. Now, this Mirador is very popular, but obviously you need to have or be in relatively good shape. I wouldn't say it's a difficult climb, but there are a lot of stairs. Obviously, a lot easier going down than coming up. But if you take your time, I think anybody could do it.
A little hazy today. Well, still beautiful. And this morning I saw my first whale in the bay with a baby. So they are here a little bit early. Normally we see lots of whales almost every day in January and February from the balcony of our condo. And I've actually seen quite a few from up here as well. So seeing them on, I think today is November the 27th, is a little bit early. One of the first time I've seen them this early anyways. But it's a real pleasure when you do see them. So let's head on over to the lookout tower. You made it.
We made it, yes.
Finally.
So you just climbed up to the cross, and now you have to go down a few flights of stairs to get to the base of the lookout tower before climbing up again. This is a good way to get your exercise, at least your steps in. And I will say it really isn't that difficult. Plus there's a lot of places that you can sit down and take a break. You don't have to do it all in one shot. So here's the first platform of the lookout. So this is the south side of the bay, and the rock formation you see way in the distance there. That's Los Arcos, great place to snorkel and swim. I believe it's a protected area now, a national park. So you can't fish there. So this is all the downtown. And over here, you can see the Rosita Hotel. And the Rosita is where the malecón starts. And further along, you get the hotel zone of Puerto Vallarta. You get the marina, and then you get Nuevo, Flamingos, Bucerias, and so forth. So one more level to go. And these mountains, by the way, are part of the Sierra Madre chain. We got quite a few people up today, enjoying themselves, taking some pictures and videos.
So we are now on the very top level of the Mirador, or lookout platform, And in the distance here, you're looking to the north side of the Bay of Banderas. It's a little bit misty or foggy here. I think it's due to humidity, not pollution. Punta Minta is at the very end of the bay, but you can't see it due to the mist. But you definitely can see a great portion of the northern part of the city of Puerto Vallarta. You can see what we call the Marina District, or in Hotel Zone. That's the Grand Venetian Hotels just before the entrance to the marina, and the marina is where the cruise ships park. There is normally docking space for 3 cruise ships there, and I've seen 4 in the bay, but one always has to park outside the docking area, or outside the marina, that is. So this is the central part of Puerto Vallarta, the city, and there is the southern coastline. Now, this particular condominium is known as the Molina de Agua, and the River Quale runs right in front of it. That's probably one of the most luxurious condominiums in all of Puerto Vallarta. In a distance here where you see a couple of condominiums, that's Conchas Chinas, and these rocks out here are Los Arcos. They're actually a national park, I believe now. Therefore, you're not allowed to fish there, but they take a lot of snorkeling tours out there. It's an excellent place to snorkel. And scuba dive, of course.
Necesitan tomarse una foto.
A lot of times, if you're up here, especially during January and February, it is not unusual to have whale sightings. I've never been up here at night, but I know a lot of people do come up here to catch the sunset as well, because we are facing directly west. So it took us probably about 15 minutes to get to the top here. The total distance is half a mile, or 0.8 kilometers from the Malecón straight up Abasolo to reach the top of the Mirador. And you can take as much time as you want. There's lots of resting places. There's lots of stairs. Therefore, it's probably a good idea to rest up. And you might as well bring some water now, since there's no coffee shop here or a place to get a drink in 2024, at least at this moment in time. But on the way down, you can choose to go the same way you came up, but I find that a little bit boring. So what we'll do is we'll head over and go down the back way. I think you might find that enjoyable. It's interesting, and you'll find or see a lot of different things, or the backside of Puerto Vallarta. So here we go.
Para allá no, estoy acá.
And obviously, going down is going to be a lot easier than going up. So on the backside of the Mirador, they actually have a maintenance access road. Well, it's hard to call it a road, but it's a trail, and they use generally 4x4s to bring supplies up. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go down it. So there's no steps, at least on the first section, but it is a bit of a pathway that's paved, a little bit steep, but definitely a lot easier going down than going up. So when you reach the top of the stairs where you came up, where the big beautiful mural is, what you need to do is just go past it to the end wall and follow along the backside. So here we go. Here's the maintenance pathway. As you can see, it's concrete. They have lots of grooves for traction, but it can be a little bit slippery if there's any leaves, but it's really quite safe. But take your time. I have seen people on their bicycles come up here and ride this path down. Not so much lately, because they used to cut right in front of where the new road is going in, because there was a nice pathway there. And they can't do that anymore, and the rest is all steps. So I would imagine that will resume once they complete the roadway. You can see some more antennas here. I guess they're radio towers. And you can also see that there's a few houses up here as well. This particular one used to have a lot of chickens and roosters. And it looks like they still have one burrow sitting here, but the chicken and roosters are gone. Looks like he's got a bucket of water, but he's in the shade, trying to keep out of the hot sun. Don't blame him. So there's the path there that we just came down. Got one little more semi-steep section. And then we'll be taking stairs pretty much all the way down to the bottom and back to the malecón. But we'll be going through a few alleyways which are pretty interesting. Hola amigos.
Hola.
Buen día.
Igualmente. Saludos a YouTube.
Looks like a little bit of construction going on. So now basically you're at the level of the Mirador stairs. So that's a lot easier to get down to. And if you went to the right, this used to be a pathway that would take you to the Mirador stairs. It was nice and paved, really actually fantastic to walk along. But as you can see, or I had showed you, there's a road being built there. So instead, we're gonna go down to the back way, past these homes and alleyways to get down back to the malecón. Bit of a guard dog, I guess. Guard in the only way they can, which is make lots of noise. So you can see lots of houses here. And it's quite safe to take these walkways. Lots of people around. I've never ever had a problem, and like I said, I've been doing it for about 8 years now without any issues.
I would imagine the electrical supply company, when they have to read the meters, they send their youngest guy to come up here and do all this. And the youngest guy probably really enjoys it because the views are great.
And you really can't get lost because there's only one set of stairs, one pathway. You just got to follow it along. These stairs are actually in great shape, easy to get down to, well maintained. The last derelict building here. People are living over here. But this one is falling down. And we actually land on a road. More of a walkway though, I think. Although I have seen small cars come up here. But it doesn't go too far, just around the corner up there, and then it ends. Now, since they put in this stairway here, I don't think any cars are getting by. Probably just motorcycles. Got a little puppy here trying to sleep. Hola, amigo. Hola, señorita.
Hola.
Here comes a car now, a taxi. Get out of his way. I guess that's about as far as he's going. And this is a relatively new garage as part of a condominium. It was just built last year.
Another nice thing about Puerto Vallarta are all the flowering trees. In this case, bougainvillea. You basically find them all over the area, down in lots of different streets and in lots of places that would surprise you. And they are in bloom basically all winter long while you're here.
So on this little street here, there are a few places that you can rent. There's a few signs indicating that. I don't know anybody who has rented it in this area, so I can't advise you on it. But it's well located if you don't mind climbing a little bit off the street. I would imagine being a little bit away from the beach makes it a lot more economical. Hola.
Hola.
So, the street that we just came down on is called Arroyo del Pedresco, or Pedregoso, if I'm saying that right. So you can go left or right to get back to the malecón. I think we'll go right today, probably the shortest and easiest way to do this. And we'll just proceed down the street. If you wanted to, you could head up this little walkway to the right. And that will take you to the first section of Abasolo, where we had to make a little jog over to reconnect. This little walkway will take you right there. But we're on Emilia Carranza now. And we are going to head on down Aldama. And Aldama will take us right to the malecón. So we started on Abasolo and we're finishing on Aldama.
So you can see there's a lot of interesting buildings. You see a little more of a, maybe, I don't really want to call it the backside of Puerto Vallarta, but more the normal areas where the citizens live. You could see that the climb up was a little steep and maybe a little bit strenuous. The good news is it doesn't take very long. So I call it not that difficult, only because the amount of pain is only for a short period of time. As I said, you could probably do the hike if you walked it straight without stopping in about 15 minutes. I took about 20, didn't really want to rush it. And going down's a little bit shorter. So if you spend 20 minutes up at the Mirador, taking in the sights, the total excursion will only take you an hour.
This is Peru. It's a great restaurant. If you're looking for our Peruvian food, I think you'd really enjoy it. We've been there several times, and it is quite good. And I've noticed that they've added some street art. It's quite spectacular. This is Hidalgo Street, and this street runs right to the church, Our Lady of Guadalupe. Across the street there. A lot of the times the drivers here, especially the taxi drivers, when they see you waiting, will stop and let you across. They'll hold up the traffic. But some of the other drivers like to get to and from as quickly as possible, so you need to be careful. one more block and we'll be at the malecón. To show you this other really nice piece of street art here on the corner of this building. Very sharp. They said earlier, many of the streets, on some of the walls, or on many walls, you'll find newly painted art. Some of it has been here for a while, but more and more is popping up. Seems every year. And we're almost back to the beginning. And this whole trip back down is probably another half mile or 0.8 kilometers. So a total round trip of 1 mile or 1.6 kilometers. And we're finishing up at Aldama, right near these interesting statues, which are a whole bunch of sea creatures, but in reality, they're all benches just made up a little bit whimsically. And a lot of people like to come here and get their pictures taken. Well, I hope you enjoyed the hike, and if you did, please like and subscribe and follow me. I do a lot of content all about Puerto Vallarta.